Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. I'm back with another update from the NAB show I went to in Las Vegas last week, and the company I want to talk about today is PowerVision. Now, I've been following these guys for a couple of years, and I'm intrigued by their design because they have built a couple of products. They've got a family of products, really, that are unique from the market set today. A lot of companies seem like they're going to build a drone. They'll go out and see what the other drones look like, and they'll cobble something together that's sort of a clone of what's already on the market, and maybe they'll change a few things, but it's not really that radically different. These guys from PowerVision look like they threw all the plans out the window when they're building stuff, and I can tell you from the design to the actual production of the product, it's a radically different architecture in a lot of different ways. And I'll get into some of the features here, but you may know them in the marketplace already from some of the products that have been out a little while. Now, their family of products include the PowerEye, which is a pretty standard quad, the PowerEgg, which is anything but standard, but it's a quad. The new product is called a PowerB, and that's a swarming kind of a quad where you can put a bunch of them together, much like the NAB product or the Shooting Star product from Intel. So it's made for like commercial exhibitions. And then the final product is the PowerRay. That's the one that I want to spend some time talking about today. That's a submersible quad. So it's not actually a quad, but a submersible drone that you can send down, under the water and actually investigate, which thrills me to no end. So I'll talk a little bit about the first three products just to give you a feel why they're different. And again, what I like about these guys is they've looked at the market and said, we can do better. We can do something a little bit different, a little bit more inventive than the products that are on the market today that's going to appeal to consumers. All right, so the first thing I'll talk about is their PowerEye. Now the PowerEye, to look at it sitting on a table, you would think standard drone. It looks just like a lot of other drones out there. It's got 4 blades, 4 motors, it's got stanchions that hold it up, it's got a camera dangling from the bottom. But if you spend a little bit of time looking a little deeper into it, you'll realize pretty quickly that it has got some features that set it apart from the competition. So for starters, the camera is a micro four thirds camera, but unlike a lot of the fixed cameras that are out there on the quads, this one has interchangeable lenses, so you can pull a lens off, put a different lens on. If you're a photographer, having the ability to change your focal point, your lens type, is really a big advantage. Now, other quads allow you to do that, but most of them require you to actually take the whole camera off and replace it with a different camera. And sensor and everything has to get changed. With this one, you can change just the lens. It's pretty cool. The other thing they've got built in is that it's got a 360-degree rotation on the camera. So if you're familiar with the Inspire products, they've got the ability to rotate the camera in this 360-degree range. Same thing here. So it'll go from dead center 180 this way, 180 degrees that way, which means I can keep my quad stable in the sky, and I can do the yaw on the camera and move it around and actually get the shots that I need, which is a lot easier to film, to be honest with you. It's got a 3-mile range, 3.1-mile range, which is plenty far. And again, we've got visual line of sight requirements in the US. I don't think you can see a quad that far away, so knowing that I can fly 3.1 miles is a good thing for me. It's got an industry-leading flight time of 29.5 minutes. So if you're a competitive person, that is the longest flight time on the market today. Now, others will eclipse that as battery technology gets better and they become more efficient, but right now that's the longest up in the air aloft flight time available in any quad. The other thing that's nice about it is that its frame folds up, so it's got a foldable design. And unlike some of the quads where the arms fold in against the body, these arms fold down alongside the landing gear. So it gives you kind of a rectangle profile when it's folded up, which slides right into a backpack, so it makes it really easy to traverse or to travel with it. In addition to that, it's got a hazard warning system in it. So it's got proximity sensors and obstacle detection equipment on the quad that if you get close to something, it's going to give you a warning. It'll actually beep and make noise and let you know that you're approaching an object. So it's got obstacle avoidance as well. So all things considered, it is unique enough in the market space where I think it definitely deserves some attention if you're out there looking to buy a quad today. The second product I'll talk about is their PowerEgg product. And I'm laughing a little bit because when I first saw this thing, it looks like a football, it looks like an egg. I'm thinking, how's that going to fly? I mean, why would you make it in an egg shape? And when you see it unfold from the egg shape, when the arms pop up and the props come out, feet come down to hold it, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it really is a very enchanting thing to watch this thing go through its motions. Then it goes up in the air and the legs go up, the camera dangles below it, and you get a 290-degree rotation on the gimbal travel around. So it goes 100 from dead center, 120 degrees, 170 degrees that direction for a full 290. So it's not a full 360, but you can get most of what you need with that. I love the fact that when it's in the air, it looks like nothing else flying. So when people see that, they're enchanted by it. They look at it and it's not as threatening as a lot of the other quads out there. So people are very curious about that profile in the sky. I also believe that because of the shape, it's easier to keep your eye on it because a lot of the quads, when they're flat, the profile is difficult to see, especially on sunny days or you've got clouds behind it. With this one, you've got that egg shape floating in the air. It just gives you a lot more of a visual trigger, I guess, to find that when you're looking for it to maintain your visual line of sight with it. The other thing that's really inventive about this is you can get it with both a controller and it comes with a joystick or a homing stick, if you will, and the joystick allows you to fly it just with the joystick, which makes it really easy for somebody that's new to flying a quad to put this thing up and then make it move around the sky with the joystick. It'll do selfies, it'll do follow mode, so it's got a lot of really very incredibly cool things built into it. Now the distance on this, it'll fly 3 miles like most of the quads out there today, and it's got a 23-minute flight time. So it's right in the middle of the pack as far as flight time goes. The distance is adequate, but the design of it, I imagine there was a design engineer someplace sitting at a draft board and came up with this design and brought it to management. I can't imagine what that meeting was like when they were thinking, you're going to build an egg that flies? What's with that? But I love it. I just think it's so unique in the market space. So that's the PowerEgg. The next product is called PowerB. Now, I've talked before about this concept of coordinated quads. I've talked a lot about the Intel Shooting Star system, which is now starting to replace fireworks at Disney World and a lot of other places. I think that's the future. Now, there are a lot of companies that are working on that kind of coordinated technology, and this PowerB product is a smaller drone that has a grouping of LEDs on the bottom that are multi-changing colors, so they can represent millions of colors in the sky, and they can coordinate a light show where these fly together in complicated patterns. They've got collision sensors in them, and they've got safety zones built in so they won't fly beyond where you've set these geofences up. But you put this up in the sky and create patterns with these and change the colors, and it's a visually overwhelming experience. It just looks really cool to have these up in the sky. So these are built to be sold as a set. I think they come in a set of 10. You probably can fly with more of them. There's not a lot of information out about these yet. I did a little bit of research, but 10 of them is a standard set, and they're sold as a set. Single controller, one person sort of driving the show from that one controller setup. But again, I think this is going to be another segment of the market that maybe as a consumer I'm not going to buy, but I could see this being appealing to commercial companies that want to put up, visual displays at corporate events or parties or trade shows, that type of thing. I think it's really cool. So it's called the PowerB, and again, it's so sophisticated when it flies that, again, the collision avoidance and the safety zone, it's accurate down to a centimeter of distance. They're really that accurate. So the technology is really advancing quickly. So I'll keep an eye on that and give you an update when I see what happens a little further down the road to see how that product matures. The big thing I wanted to talk about today is the PowerRay. Now, I think I fly a lot of quads. You guys know that. I'm up in the air every day when I can. It's not raining, not snowing, I'm outside. The other place I would love to be able to put a quad is underwater, right? So this whole concept of submersible, there's a couple of companies working on it. This PowerA product, I think will be the first to market. It's out already, it's done, it's in production. They're going to start delivering units in a month or two, but I just love the concept. So this thing looks like something out of a James Bond movie. I mean, it's a sleek design. It's got a very nice aerodynamic feature set to it. It's got some really bright lights on the front. It can go down to like 98 feet or 100 feet underwater. I can't imagine the experience of putting on a set of goggles or even looking at a tablet and having this thing dive down underwater and explore the bottom, right? To see maybe a shipwreck or around the rocks of the reef, or, just swimming down there for people that, want to go snorkeling, but don't go snorkeling, right? Because they're afraid to go snorkeling. So I can imagine from a consumer perspective, this is another place for me to explore. I put my drone up to explore the skies and look at the beautiful landscape around me. Putting this thing in the water, taking it down to 60 or 70 feet to see the fish that are down there, the creatures, whatever else happens to be down there. That's just an exciting landscape for me to actually explore. So I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Now, they've really built it to be a complete kit. So what you get with this is the submersible itself, and it's got 3 thrusters on it. It's got 2 powerful thrusters on the back. It's got 1 center mounted thruster. So the back thruster is obviously forward and back, and that center thruster handles the up and down of it. But the precision on this thing is incredible. So you can get down and get really close to an object, and it's so powerful that if you head for the surface with it, it'll actually break the surface, much like a whale will do when it hits the surface. So it's fast and it's cool. It's got 3 different modes of operation. So if the first time you're using it, it's got like a beginner's mode where it goes slower. Then as you get better with it, you can move into the middle mode, which is a little bit faster. Then there's an expert mode if you really want to zip around under the water. And of course, your battery life is going to be dictated by how much you're using it and how fast you're going. But if you're in the beginner mode, I think you get like 6 hours of underwater time on a single battery charge. That's great. So you can stay underwater a long time. You have a couple of choices too on how you control this. So they've got a standard remote that you can use, much like flying a drone. It's just underwater, where you're looking at the actual visual from that front-facing camera, which I didn't really mention, but the front camera is a 4K video recording camera. They've got 2 very powerful LED lights on both sides, because when you get down underwater, I've dove for a lot of years. I'm a certified diver. When you get down to 30 feet, the sunlight coming through the water still provides plenty of, luminescence for things around you. You can see what's going on, or illumination. But when you get down to 60 feet, it gets darker. And when you get down to 90 feet, it's dark and things are bigger and scarier looking. So having lights on the front of this that can illuminate that area for me to see what I'm swimming around is really, really cool. 12 megapixel camera, so you can take pictures or video when you're down there. The remote controller, the standard one, uses your phone or your tablet just like you're used to with flying a quad. They also make a set of goggles. So they're working with Zeiss right now. I don't know if it's been announced yet. I think it may have been. But Zeiss is going to make the glass for all their goggles in the unit. I hope that that relationship helps them improve the camera as well, because Zeiss is big into lenses. So maybe the relationship for the goggles will branch out to something else for the actual submersible as well, and they'll use Zeiss glass in the submersible. But at this point, they're pretty much the industry leader. They're ahead of the pack as far as I can tell. I begged them for an advanced copy of this thing to test it, and I'll take it out to the lake and I'll put it down and we'll see how it swims, and I'll record some video from it. I just can't wait to get my hands on this kind of technology, because as much as I love to fly, there's a whole nother world under the water that I can explore with this type of product. So I did an interview with them really quick. I'll run that next, and then maybe I'll come back at the end and give you some more thoughts. But I got to tell you, this company is going places, because they've got so many different products coming out that are unique and different in the market space. I just think there's big things ahead for them. So hang on and I'll run the interview, and then I'll come back at the end with a few extra thoughts. Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. So I'm with the guys from PowerVision. Introduce yourself.
My name is Craig Glover, and I'm the Director of Marketing at PowerVision.
So I've been after these guys for months to try and get my hands on one of these products behind me over here, because I think the submersible market is going to explode. And in my opinion, these guys are out ahead of the curve. So a couple of companies that are nipping at their heels, but you cannot deny the sexiness of this product. Now, from a fundamental perspective, it goes underwater up to 98 feet. It's got a 150-foot tether that tethers to a surfboard with an antenna on it, so you don't have to deal with worrying about loss of signal or thing running away on you.
It's right here.
Great.
All connected. This is your base station.
Fantastic. So, and then remote control from
this
there.
is your remote.
Yep.
And now I'm actually, you can feel the,
yeah.
Here. There you go.
That's nice. Very nice. And then your camera in the front has about a 40-degree or a little better.
Yeah, about it's like 33 and like 33 to 35, right around there.
Okay, and everything is completely waterproof.
Yes, everything's completely waterproof. You have your LED light system. You got 3 different modules on that. You got medium, low, and high.
Okay, and then there was a talk of a fish finder initially that can drop in. Does that still happen with the latest generation?
So here it is. Here, you can use this basically.
It's right there.
Yeah, well, it's because of it. You can use this on there, or you can actually just plug it into here, throw it into the water, and there you got your sonar.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
So it's a removable sonar, not only from here, but also into the water.
Great. And does this swim without the sonar?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you don't have to have the sonar on it. No.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then 98 feet deep. That's pretty deep.
98 feet deep, you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot. I'll tell you that.
It gets darker to go.
Yeah, it gets a little bit dark.
Now, talking before, I understand this is your second generation product, so
yes.
It's not like let's hope it, put it out in the street.
Exactly.
You guys strike me as a company that's extremely diligent about making sure the product's ready to rock and roll.
Why that you haven't seen anything else out there is the diligency that they're taking to make sure that we're going to put a product out to market that is going to be flawless.
Right.
Okay.
And the key here is, I mean, just like when you're flying a drone, it's up in the air, any kind of single point of failure is going to bring that thing crashing down.
Right.
This is even, to me, a little more scary because it's underwater. At least if it falls from the sky, they'll find it.
Right.
This takes a dive.
Right.
It's gone, right? So the technology has to be.
You're never going to lose it, because this is, unless something came up and snipped it.
Big fish or something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, what is that? A swordfish came up and right across. Yeah, obviously you're going to lose it. This is not going to.
Gotcha.
So you're never going to be able to lose
this floats.
Yeah.
And this is buoyancy neutral, I imagine.
Exactly. So it'll float to the surface if you do not command it to do anything.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it floats.
So then, release dates on these. When do you expect to have it in the street?
My goal for this one would be the first day of summer, June 21st.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And retail manufacturers.
Okay, so for the basic model, which is the Explorer, that is going to be $1488.
Okay.
Then you go one step up to the Angler, which comes with the fish finder,
okay.
$1788.
All right.
And then the fish finder with
the goggles.
The goggles.
Yeah, that's got to be ultra cool.
Okay, so now we partner with Zeiss.
Oh,
now Zeiss is
fantastic.
we've just put the press release out about a week and a half ago. So we are now partnered with Zeiss. Zeiss will be putting the glasses into production. They're in production right now. And so with the 1988, you get the goggles, you get the fish finder and the drone and 170-foot cable instead of 150.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so price-wise, I guess for the basic unit without the fish finder, you're right around that Phantom price range, around that $1,400.
Yeah, $1,400.
You know, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive for a quality product.
Exactly. And then what you get, I mean, this is the whole package.
Right. So one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you today, two reasons. First off, I've been blown away by your technology, the engineering behind it, your commitment to not releasing a product and fixing it in the field.
Right.
So many companies nowadays release it, and then there's firmware updates, send it back, or do this, whatever.
Yeah.
So I respect that totally. The second reason is I've been bugging you guys for months to have you send me one of these so I can tear it apart. So I'm doing this clip, you're going to see it on film. You're going to get me one of these units down the road.
Hey, Rick, I told you as soon as one hits my hands, and it's in my marketing budget stuff,
this is
it's going to you.
It's legally binding. You guys
are hearing this
all right. Good. So I'll do a clip on this review to give you a feel for it. And then we'll follow up with a clip where I'm actually going to swim around with this thing and tear it apart and take a look at it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, listen, thanks an awful lot for your time. I appreciate it. Glad to finally meet you.
Yeah, for sure.
See you guys soon. Okay, so there you go. And again, sorry about the audio on that. I was at the show and it was really noisy in the background, and it's so difficult to get some time with these guys in the booth, but I felt like they were extremely gracious with the amount of time they gave me. They spent a lot of time answering all my goofy questions on how does this work and does that come off and is it waterproof and all the rest of that stuff. But I'm just really, really inspired by the engineering behind this, and more importantly, the inventiveness of coming up with a product that isn't some big clunky box that just happens to be waterproof with a camera mounted inside of it. They really thought this thing through. I mean, it looks like it was designed by the Navy, right? That you can see scuba divers or SEALs using this thing to sneak up on bad guys. It's just a very, very cool design. I also asked them about the future of it, and I think right now if you go with the kit, and he explained the kit, the different pricing in there, but you can buy just the quad, or I should say just the submersible. You can buy the submersible and the fish finder, which is a whole nother technology with sonar. Then you can buy the complete kit where you get the actual submersible, the sonar, or the fish finder, and the goggles all in one kit. And he had different prices for those things. But I think the future of this is even brighter, because when I think about where this could be used, consumers are one space, right? This would be great. But if I go on vacation with my wife and she doesn't like to swim, but I want to go out and do some snorkeling, now I'm kind of stuck, right? Because she's got to sit in the boat and in the hot sun, and I'm down there enjoying myself. Wouldn't it be cool if that boat that took us out there that I jumped in the water to snorkel off of also had a couple of these on board, so my wife could essentially swim with me underwater with this thing as we're going around exploring those reefs? That's just one place you could use it. I could see them going to theme parks, you know, and putting it like SeaWorld, going to SeaWorld and saying, hey, we're going to put these things in the pool and let the kids or the parents actually swim around and see the marine life that's down there. I think there's a lot of opportunities for this type of technology. But as a consumer, and especially as a geek, I can't wait. It's like I'm going to be Jules Verne's jumping in this thing and swimming underwater, exploring every little nook and cranny of the bay or the ocean that I happen to be near. So I'll stay on top of this. And you saw in the clip I did ask him for a unit. Again, I don't think it's a legally binding contract, but I've got him on tape saying he's going to send me one as soon as he can. So if it gets here, I'm going to do the standard Drone Valley review. And you guys know that I love to take stuff and really run it through its paces. So you'll get an honest answer from me. But at the end of the day, incredibly cool technology. They're breaking new ground going into the water. And I really think that as a company in general, just the way they design, looking at it from an engineer's perspective, they've got a lot of really quirky people working in their design group, and I applaud that. I really do. I look for non-standard stuff, and these guys have it in spades. So that's it for PowerVision. And again, stay tuned, because if I do get hands on any of these gear, if I get the, you know, the PowerEye, or get the PowerEgg, or the PowerBee, or the PowerRay, their marketing guys need to work a little harder on those names. But if I get any of those, I'll do a full review on them, and you guys can enjoy, you know, watching me use them and maybe the products that you're interested in. So stay tuned for that. I really appreciate you guys watching the channel. As I say every time, I enjoy doing these clips. I really had a lot of fun out there in Las Vegas with all the people we talked to. So if you guys are enjoying these, I'll continue to make them. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'll try and answer everything I can for you. If you have, you know, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, because I have a ton more clips coming. I'm going to be heading out, I think, to the Ascend show. I'll be going to Interdrones. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming in from the field. But, you know, it's a thrill for me to do this stuff. You guys know how much I love the technology, and I'll keep making them as long as you're watching. So stay tuned. And thanks an awful lot for all your support. Have a great afternoon and happy flying. Or in this case, happy swimming.